Okay, let's talk about the main four course learning points in the chapter 1. In the first week, the major work is you build up your environment. So you installed VirtualBox and then installed CentOS and Ubuntu. And then the same times you need to read the chapter 1. Since I have the ebook, so I'm going to show what is the major points in the chapter 1. The chapter 1, where to start. The first section is essential duty of a system administrator. Okay, this is just you read through this one, get the general idea. What the system administrator do is control access, adding hardware, automate tasks, oversees backup, install upgrade software, monitor and troubleshooting, maintenance local documentation, monitor the security, training and performance. This is a list covers everything, but when you get the job, probably you only do one smaller part. Especially security is a very broad area, and then they may have the special personnel to handle the security. But when you learn the system administration in this class, you need always keep in your mind system security is a very critical part. You need to pay a little bit attention for the security when you learning the material. Okay, this section you just go through roughly, read through especially the subtitle. That is good enough. The second section is a suggested background. Okay, you have to know one of the editor. The VI is most popular. The VI is very powerful. The VI is not user friendly, but the VI is you have to learn. When you go to the job, the VI is everyone's editor. And then you are going to use VI to generate script file, and then forget about the GUI interface, forget about the window. When you access into the server, VI is must. This is advanced. The version of the VI is actually same thing. When you type the VI, it's going to current the system going to use VM. Nano is a very lightweight, low impact starter editor. Every system is default install this one. You're probably using this one for a smaller device, for the light, for example, the IoT device or whatever. You are going to use the Nano, but it's quite similar. So the VI is required. That is basic choose. We are going to have a one section to show you how to use the VI, and then we have an assignment to practice the VI. Okay, that is our basic. And another is the shell. Shell is an interface with the operating system. Give you an interface, you can interact with the system call. And the every user, when you log in, you have a default shell. The current Linux system is Bash. They have the C shell, T shell, K shell, whatever, many shells, but the Bash is the default. Bash is the most popular, and you need to know the basic syntax of the use the Bash. Okay, so one is VI, another is the Bash. At this moment, you just know that is assuming you have to know all this. Even we does not get anything yet, you need to know this. Okay, that is a suggested background. The third part is distribution. Here has a very unique concept. It's a Linux kernel. It's not like a window. It's a one OS. Does not divided kernel or distribution. Window is window, but the Linux is separate into the kernel is the core part of the operating system, and then the kernel is actually the you will see www.kernel.org That is okay. The kernel is another public website. This kernel is released regularly, and the Linux what they call distribution, they use the kernel and then packed some other software together to build a distribution. So the kernel is a central part of the operating system, and then distributions can use the same kernel to pack different software to different distribution. The kernel is the core of the operating system and the package that make up all the commands you can run the system. So the kernel and distribution is two concepts. Normally we're talking about the Red Hat, Debian, and Ubuntu. That is a distribution. They can use the same set of the kernel. So when you use the Oracle Linux, CentOS Linux, it's most likely it's a quite similar. Okay, so you get the concepts of the kernel, get concepts of the distribution, and here this table. Most popular general purpose Linux distribution. In this class, we're using the CentOS. Since CentOS is free version of the Red Hat Enterprise. Why we select this one? Because the industrial, they use the Red Hat Enterprise as a stable system for the long term to use. So we use this free version. It's basically the same set of the package packed together. So we familiar with this one, and then when you get the industrial, and then you very familiar with system. Ubuntu is actually is the same. Ubuntu is actually Debian flavor of the Linux. You see here has Kali that is for penetration tests. That is one kind of the Linux distribution. Mint. This one is recently is very popular. It's Ubuntu based, desktop friendly. SUSE that is also enterprise that is paid version. Oracle has a Linux after they bought Solaris. Certainly here the Red Hat Enterprise. Slackware, this is a very secure kind of Linux system. Sometimes they're using this one for the security purpose. Okay, so I would like you to look at all this distribution, get the general idea, and then you know the kernel distribution. That is good enough. Section 4 is an example system use this book. You just need to know Debian, they use this icon. Ubuntu, this one, Red Hat use this one. So the CentOS Red Hat is the same. FreeBSD, that is another kind of distribution. It's originally come from IBM. If you are the Mac OS, if you use the Apple, they are based on the Unix. They are based on the FreeBSD. So Mac OS is actually the Unix. It's not Linux, but you still can use some command. It's very similar. Okay, notation, topographical. Although here introduced the what is the notation, but I'm interested in this command. So this is something I'm going to ask you in your test and your quiz. For example, what is the command CP? That is a copy file. This is a source file. This is a destination file. So copy file, and then make sure you're familiar with this. You can practice in your VirtualBox. And grep. Grep is a very useful command to searching the pattern. If you grab a bob from this list, and then they are going to list it, the output is going to find all the lines with the bob. Okay, grab, copy. That is our key points. You need to make sure you know this one, so you are good for your quiz and test. Sudo -root. That means your current user, your assume you are going to be the root. If you install the Ubuntu, if you want to install something, they does not give you the root access. You have to use the normal login and then sudo the root. Dash means the get the environment. So you sudo dash root, you are going to assume yourself to be the root and then give the password. And then you see the command here is going to pound size. That means you are in the root. And then you can run some command in the root privilege. Okay. Grab, copy, sudo bark. That one is not really popular for use, so that's okay. Units. This one is not really directly related to this class, but you probably already know the 1 kilobyte is 1000 byte. 4 kilobyte, that is 4000, around 4000. It's 1 gig is 1 billion. You see, come on, this is billion. You just roughly understand what is the unit is good enough. 1 BS. So smaller b here is the billion bit. Smaller b is bit. Capital B is byte. Each byte has 8 bits. So 1 gigabit per second. So that means you can transfer data every second 1 billion bits. Bits is 1 or 0. Okay, this is just a general idea. And the 7th section, that main page, this is important. I want you to really look into this table. Main page is a help file. When you type main and then give a name, you are going to get the section numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not expect you to remember all, but you have to know 1 is a user level command. The 2 is a system call or kernel error code. 8 is system administration command. Let me give you example here. Okay, this is my terminal. So I type man. For example, I gave a command. I'm looking for the help file for the system control. You see here, system. This is the section number 1. 1 means that's user command. To tell this is a user command. Okay, let's look at the example. For example, man 8, section 8, that is a system administration. Let's find one of the system administration command. For example, system control. No manual entry for system control in the section 8. Okay, let's look at 8 if config. Okay, you see the if config is a section 8, that is Linux system administrator's manual. So this manual is for the this command is for the system administrator to use, and then you can use this command. Okay. Okay, this is an example for the section number. I'm going to ask you this one in the quiz. Man key translation. You probably want to try some command. Export. This one is very useful, but I'm not going to ask you for this command at this time. So another some other documentation. This is official website for all this one you may searching for. Oh, here is one thing is I want to, you probably see this one, LTS release. LTS release for, what is LTS? LTS is a long-term support release version. So if you download, you probably want to download this LTS version. CentOS also has this LTS version. That is, they are going to support about 5 years. Okay. Other source information for this chapter. Keep current. Here has so many website, and then the reference kernel.org, digital server for hackers. That's okay. And the conference, what to find, install. From the source determined software already. Here, this one, which, I'm expect you know the which is command to looking for if this program is in your default path. That means whenever you type this command, you can find it. Let's look at the example. Okay, which GCC. You see, they are going to tell you, okay, USR bin GCC is installed in this directory. USR bin is a default path. Otherwise, you are not going to find it. Even in installed, when you're not in the path, you try that command, you cannot. Let's look at this one. Version. So whenever you type the command, it is going to run this software. That means your program is in the running path, in the default path. So, for example, right now I'm in my home directory, but when I type the GCC, and then the system knows, okay, GCC is in the USR bin, so they directly run from there. The which is fine if your software has a executable in the default directory. Okay. Another command is called locate, which consult and precompile index of the file system to locate file names that match the particular pattern. So this one is actually locate if you have this one somewhere in your system. So locate is just searching for a file. It's maybe in any place in the system, but which is only searching for your search path. It's just the same as window path. Okay, these two I'm going to ask you in your quiz and also probably in your test. What else? The third one is very important, RPM. This one is going to, what we know, the RPM is system package utility. Okay, RPM system package utility, and Q to find out this option, Q to find out if this package was installed. QF and going to find out the package, a particular file is belong to which web package. Okay, here this example, HTTPD that is belong to this package. And this Q is going to find if Python was installed. Okay, Python, this 2.7 package was installed. This is very important. I'm going to ask you in your quiz. And PKG is a FreeBSD that if you are using Mac OS, you are going to use this command. Okay, Ubuntu is dpkg, that is different. Anything else? We are going to use this one a lot. If the Ubuntu you want to install something, apt-get install something that is for the what we call advanced package tools, apt. Okay, we are going to use this lot, but this moment, it's a just give you idea. YUM is CentOS version of the package installation software, what they call Yellow Book utility management. Is there anywhere mentioned about that one? BSD is used a different software from the source code, web script, query. Will not use this one at this moment. You're probably going to use this one. Host is just a server, what we call the host. Specialized disciplines. Okay, this is just a general reading. You can skip that recommended reading. That's okay. Okay, this is the key learning points for the chapter 1. I hope you can practice in your virtual machine. Okay, I'm stopped at here. Thank you very much.